Welcome to In Between Podcast with your hosts, Sarah and Celeste. Join us every Monday at 4 p.m. on a journey through the twists and turns of life. From the challenges that test our resolve to the moments that fill us with joy, we are here to explore it all. We may not fit the mold of the ordinary, but together we're just two friends with stories to share. We're here to inspire, to uplift, and to remind you that you're not alone in this adventure called life. So whether you're navigating through difficult days or celebrating the little victories, come grow with us in life's in between.
Okay, so today we're going to be talking about Sarah and I's birth stories. Her and I are 6 months postpartum. We're just about 6 months postpartum. And we were pregnant at the same time and had our sons 4 days apart. So
We're not planned, though. I don't know if you can plan that well.
Yeah, I just wouldn't put it on. But we feel like now that we're about 6 months away from the postpartum journey, that we can see things a little bit clearer and are willing to talk about our birth stories. So Sarah and I have very different birth stories, just in how everything came about.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. So how did your labor and everything start?
This one was very different from my first, from my girl's story. But so I was full term, 40 weeks and 1 day. It's always the 1 day because it was exactly the same as my firstborn. She was 40 weeks and 1 day. And so, yeah, it is interesting. I was like, that is so weird. And like, I didn't really do anything different. So like, I was just like waiting it out. Didn't want to get induced or anything. I just waited. And so, that day I had a doctor's appointment and, we went in, to check everything. I think I was like 80% effaced, but like not dilated at all. So we were like, well, okay,
At 40 weeks, you were dilated?
I don't think so. I might have been 1 centimeter, maybe.
No, you were like 3, weren't you?
What? The things you forget. Everything, literally. Yeah, maybe I was more because
you were dilated and I wasn't.
That's right. Okay. You're right. Yeah, I don't remember anything. So, so maybe I was a few centimeters dilated, and then, but like, we were just waiting still because it was just like whatever. So we went in, and she was like, "Do you want to do a membrane sweep?" And I was like, "I don't know," because like, if you've been in that situation, it hurts really bad. I was like, I remember it just hurting and whatever, and like, but I knew it like could potentially speed up the process. With my first, it like didn't. It was like a week later, and I had her. But like this was the day, and she did it, and I was like, all right. And she was like, we may see a baby today, we may not.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
Sounds good.
It probably helped that you were 80% effaced.
Possibly so.
That was probably you were like the perfect candidate.
Probably so for it. Probably so. So we left the appointment. I was feeling good. I was just like, it was like 2:30, 3:30, something like that in the afternoon. And then we were driving on our way back home, and we decided to stop at Chick-fil-A. Because I was
like, you gotta get Chick-fil-A.
Well, I was like, I'm going to get a milkshake. I think it was the peach milkshake.
That puts you
or something. No, it had to have been the peppermint. It was November. Maybe.
Yeah.
It was a special milkshake because I was like, I gotta get it. And so we drove back home, and I was starving at that point. I don't know why I didn't get. I think I might have got French fries too or something. I don't know, but I was hungry. And when we got home, we were waiting for my firstborn to get there, and I was like, oh no, I'm feeling something. It's like Nelson's like, is it contractions? I was like, I don't know. Because like, Braxton Hicks, and then you go through contractions, your mind's like trying to feel what's going on, but you're like confused at the same time. Yeah. So it's like,
and also you don't want to like jinx it.
Yeah.
Be like, oh yeah, it's real labor.
But it's like, no, it's not. It can be all over the place. So I was like trying to think, and I was timing them, and they were getting consistent and like hardcore at that point. And it was only 5:30, so from my appointment at 2:30 to now it being 5:30,
3 hours.
I was like, "There's no way." But it started getting like it's so intense, and I was like, "Is Brindley here yet?" And he was like, "No, not yet." So Nelson was on the phone with his mom who had Brindley, and like we were trying to get her there before we left for the hospital.
So were you trying to like tell her like, hey, we're going to have your brother? You just wanted to see her?
Yeah, we just wanted to see her before like we were going to be away from her for a few days.
Yeah.
Because we typically are only away from her at like one night. But like a few nights was like, we really didn't want to be away from her. Yeah. So we wanted to see her before we went to the hospital. And I was like in so much pain at that point. So it was like, bye, I gotta go. And she had like just woken up. So she was like out of it anyways. But
she's like, yes, sure, Mom.
you know. So anyways, we get in the car and like go to the hospital. And I was like, just, yeah, pain was there.
Was the car ride like more miserable than?
I would say so. I'd be like we've got to get there. Because I was like, I don't know. Because like, I don't know. It was like fast contractions. Like they were getting from like 10 minutes apart to like, I think they were 5 minutes apart at that time. And they were just getting like so close together. Yeah. And I was like, oh no, like the baby is coming.
It's initially going to be your second.
Yeah, I hear the second one comes a lot faster, and that is a true story. So anyway, so we get to the hospital, and it was probably like 7 p.m. I think we start getting like checked in and like taking forever. Like this is taking forever, and I guess the pain like on top of that, I was like this is.
So did they admit you as soon as you got there?
Yes, they admitted us, but we had to fill all the paperwork out and like sign stuff, and everyone was like moving so slow, and I was like, I don't know. Bro, I was getting so aggravated. So we get up there, and like I had to wait on an epidural. I got medicated, of course, because I was like, I ain't doing it without it.
As soon as you like showed up and got checked in, you're like, get it.
Yes. I was like, I need it. I need it now. Yeah. Like there was no waiting, you know, because like with Brindley, it was a longer wait time. And I was like, I'm gonna wait to see how long I can like make it.
Yeah.
But at this time, my contractions were so close together. They're like every minute. Yeah. So I was like, I've got to get epidural. I need this.
How long were they lasting? I mean, they're a minute apart, but like how long were they?
It seemed like forever. I probably had like a minute. So like a minute, and then like it was so quick, right? So as I was waiting on the epidural, the nurse was trying to just be like, it's okay, like we're still waiting on it, and I was just like, okay, like, and they were like, just breathe, like whatever, and so finally, I don't know really what was going on at that time. Like, what was Nelson doing? What was the doctor doing? Not sure, right? Because, like, I was just breathing, and, like, they were checking me and all this stuff, checking to see what is going on down there. And so finally, the guy comes in with the epidural. I'm like, yes. But at that moment, they were so, like, I was tensing up, and that's just what happens, like, when I'm in too much pain. Yes. And so I was like tensing up, and like, but I had to relax, because I couldn't mess him up. And so like I was leaning on the nurse and was like just hold my hands, and like Nelson was holding my hand. I was just like in so much pain. And so I was leaned forward, and like, hey, you could kind of feel, they say it hurts really bad, but compared to the contraction, it's not like anything.
You're like, it's fine.
It's like, I'm more like, just get the medicine in me. Like, please. And so he missed.
No.
And then I had to go through it again, just like, oh, please, just like, get it right this time. Like, I'm going to try to be so still.
Yeah.
Because they're just like, be still. But when you're contracting, you're just like, move. Like, tensing up.
Yeah.
And so he got it in there. And so I was like,
So it took a trough, and then you got the second one.
Yes. And I don't remember it kicking in like immediately, but it was like calming them down, like it was calming the contractions down. And then like the nurse like came back in and was, checking me out and all this stuff. And, telling me my updates. That was good.
So what were you dilated when you made it to the hospital?
I think I was like on up there, actually.
You don't remember?
No, I don't remember. But I was like on up there. Cause like it was like 8, like 8, I think.
By the time you made it to the hospital?
I'm pretty sure. Cause like
you were almost there.
I was almost there.
Done it without the epidural.
No. No, ma'am. That was not the option.
So close.
Anyway, so like as the lady was checking me out and stuff, she was like, baby's like coming, so we need to go. We need to call the doctor in. And so it was only like from, let's say 8:30, and then like an hour later, from like when I got the epidural to like an hour, it was like time. It was like time to go.
Wow.
And so, which is so different from first one. First one she took a lot longer. She was like all day.
Mm.
And so, or like midnight to 10 p.m.
Wow.
So, and this one was 5:30 to, we had him at 10 something. So like
5 hours.
Yeah. So it was really fast paced, this one was. Anyway, so she comes in and is like, all right, we're ready to have this baby. And my epidural, it didn't feel like it was like all the way kicked in.
Because
So,
it's
like,
only been an hour.
Right. And so it was like, I could still feel things that I was like, oh my goodness.
So
I cannot believe it. I didn't feel anything. She was like, you're going to be able to feel some things, like maybe your contractions, but it just felt like a little bit different. Like your contractions are really painful.
Yeah.
It just felt like a pressure with Brindley.
Uh-huh.
And so like I could tell after she told me when I was having a contraction, I was like, oh, I can feel when that is happening.
With Brindley.
With Brindley, yeah. But with Shepherd, it was like I knew when I was having them, and I felt things happening.
Yeah.
That I did not feel. Yeah, I felt a pretty good bit of it. Probably not as much as you felt, but yeah, and he was all good. He was easy. He was super easy.
So how many times did you push?
I couldn't tell you that. I really don't remember. Like, it was probably like 5. Like, it wasn't a lot.
He was like ready.
He was ready to go. Yeah, right. He was. And so, he was like 8 pounds. Oh,
3 ounces.
8 pounds, 3 ounces. I'm so glad you remembered for a second. But yeah, 8 pounds, 3 ounces, and 20 and a half, 21 and a half, 21. We were very close.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if
It's only like a half.
Oh, yeah, John. It goes 21 and a half, something like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's my birth story. And it was just, I don't know, it just amazed me how fast it was. Like, boom, boom, boom. And like, baby.
Would you say like you were mentally prepared for that? Or like when they like laid him on your chest, you're like, oh, it happened that fast. Like, what? Like,
maybe. Yeah, probably that. Because I was like, just thinking about from 2:30 to 10:30, those last hours were just like so fast.
Mm-hmm.
Like from 5:30 contraction time to 10:30, like so fast. Yeah. Not 5 hours, 1 hour.
Yeah.
It felt like,
all crazy.
Yes. Yeah. Literally, that's what it felt like. And it was just crazy. But I'm so glad that it all, like, everything was fine with him and everything was good with me, so
no complications.
No complications or anything like that. Still some pain, obviously, but
so how was a little bit of like your recovery in the hospital? Like tearing, like were you able to get up and walk around since you had your epidural an hour before you had him? Did you have to lay there for a while?
I think I did have to lay there for a while, and then they moved my rooms. But honestly, this recovery was a lot better than first baby's. Don't know why. I guess just, but I did tear more. Mine was third degree. What did it say? Third degree, yeah, which is a lot.
Yeah.
So, but I will say the pain this time wasn't as strong. Like after my medication worn off, or the epidural worn off, it was like still pretty painful.
Yeah.
But like a week after with Brinley, I was still like in so much pain. Like pressure was like intense down there. But with Shepherd, it was just like, pain. I knew what I was doing, like doctor and everything.
Yeah.
So it just wasn't as like painful, and I knew the process. I did get like more like clotted blood, but it wasn't like
What they say.
like it's like gotta be a ton.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't that bad. But like pain was not. It was probably like a 5 to 6,
Or scale of
1 to 10.
10 being the worst.
10 being the worst, yeah.
Okay.
So like maybe 6. But with Brinley's, it was like a 10.
Of like recovering.
Yes, recovering. Yes.
So like, don't you wish you would have stayed at the hospital to recover like that bad?
Probably a little bit longer, but it is what it is. But so yeah, this one was nothing compared to. I feel like I bounced back quicker.
Yeah.
This time. I mean, I was still tired and exhausted.
Yeah. I wonder if it had something to do with it being your second, like your body knew kind of what was going on. And
Maybe
mentally, you probably knew more of what was going on than your first, because you're like, is this okay? Is this normal? I don't really know what I'm supposed to be feeling.
Yeah, probably so.
Yeah.
Probably so. Which I like the second one. I like Shepherd's first better.
Yeah.
Honestly, other than like still feeling some pain like during. But any of those of you out there that are scared of getting an epidural, do it. It is so worth it because, well, unless you're just like her, but during Brinley's, I was like just tensing up so much and I couldn't enjoy like everything going on because it was taking a while for me to like get ready to have her. So like I was not enjoying anything. I was just like in so much pain, like tensing up.
Yeah.
And I couldn't like control like my breath. Like it was just too much.
Yeah.
And so after I got the epidural with Brinley, we like played Uno and like had the best time.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is the best.
Yeah.
And so, and I think the recovery with that was just, it was more painful, but like as far as epidural recovery for both, I mean,
you can't tell.
I couldn't tell you because my back's been hurting since I was like 14.
They could have the baggage.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. But yeah, definitely, yeah.
So you would say the epidural definitely helped you stay present in the moment to enjoy it.
Yes.
To enjoy childbirth.
Yes. As much as you can.
Yeah.
Yes, I think so. And I don't think it's such a scary thing, but I didn't do research. I don't like research, so I kind of try to stay away from that. I don't like the internet sometimes, but
like because it can be like fear mongering.
Yes, definitely. Because like it shows the good, but it also shows like this could be the problem, and it's like extreme. So, like, what could happen? What is like the 0.1% that it happens to?
Yeah.
And it's almost like, oh no, I could be that 1%. You know what I'm saying? But I am glad that I got it both times. So, because I did enjoy Shepherd's like more when I got it, even though it didn't fully kick in. Yeah. But yeah, that is my amazing birth story.
What was your like emotions once? I mean, you talk about both kids. Once they are both here, like, did you cry? Did you laugh? Or you just like, oh, I'm done?
With Gremlins, I cried a little bit.
Yeah.
Just kind of like, oh, she's so cute. And I just like, I can't believe like we have a baby.
Yeah.
Like, with Shepherd, it was more like, I don't know, like, oh my goodness, like he is so cute. And just like,
Yeah.
I didn't really cry, but I was just like, I don't know, awestruck, I guess, with him. Which is, I wonder if I cried with Brinley just because, like, firstborn, like, I now have a baby, you know? But with Shepherd, he's like, oh my goodness, like, 2, he's so cute.
Like, just kind of like more happy.
Yeah.
I mean, not that you weren't happy.
Right.
But just a different kind of happy.
I think so. Yeah, it was a good time.
Do you remember anything about Nelson during it?
No. I could not tell you, but it was just...
No, were you one of those that like was mad at their husband?
No. I stayed pretty, calm. Not really calm.
You're like,
but I think, yeah. I think Nelson is like, you got this. You're doing great. Because the lady or the doctor is very like, you got this. Like, you know, one more push. You got this. Like, they're all very, like, encouraging. He's like, cheering me on. Yeah. Encouraging. And he kind of sticks with that, like, routine.
He's like, yeah, that's what we're doing.
It's like, you got this. You're doing a great job.
Yeah.
So, like, that's what I remember. And, like, he'll be like, he's there to, like, do whatever. Like, he's a helping hand. Like, you need me to help over there? You need me to help over there? And so, yeah, he's very good. I definitely don't bite his head off, I don't think. Not that I remember. If I did, he didn't tell me.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, I've always heard of, like, women being like, shut up to their husbands or, like, get out or something.
No, I don't think so. I'm just like, give me the medicine.
You're happy once you got that. You're like,
yeah, I'm just good. Fine then, and then good when the babies come out and you don't hold them and like, now what?
Yeah.
Like, now what I do? I got this baby.
Yeah, I've been preparing for 9 months.
Yeah.
With this. And then it's like, oh, 2 years.
Right.
What do I do with you now?
Yeah. But yeah, so that's my birth story. And now it's your turn to tell yours.
Okay. I feel like Sarah summed up hers like really well. Mine was a lot longer.
Yeah.
Which also it was my first. I mean, it was your second. So I feel like anybody's first is typically longer.
Oh yeah, mine was too.
Yeah. So I actually researched a lot. I'm the opposite of her. I wanted to know all the ins and outs of pregnancy, of labor, of everything. And so I researched like everything. I made Brantley how to take birthing classes. I watched birthing classes online by myself. I hired a doula.
That's like
what else
so
much. Yeah, and I basically did everything that they like told me to do. Like,
yeah,
except work out. I didn't work out, and I do regret that. I was
really,
yeah, but I was so sick during my pregnancy that I just like couldn't bring myself to do that. Okay, so I was 40 weeks and 2 days and started having contractions.
Right.
I wasn't dilated at all. And I was like, oh, yeah, it was finally done or something. I did think it was Braxton Hicks, but then they like started getting more consistent throughout the day. So I was like, I actually think I'm in early labor.
Yes.
I made Brantley stay home.
Mm-hmm.
And I went like that whole day and then made it to that next early morning.
How far apart were the contractions?
Like 15, 20 minutes.
So you had contractions for like a whole 24 hours every 5 minutes or every 20 minutes apart?
That's cool. But they weren't intense. I mean, it was just like, oh, I feel something and then stop. Like they would maybe last like 10 seconds.
Oh, okay. I got you. Okay, that's not
like it would be like, oh, I feel it, and then go on.
Okay.
But everything that I read was like, don't tongue and stuff like that.
Okay.
Because they would kind of get like more close together if I was doing something, and then they'd get further apart if I just didn't.
Just inconsistent.
Yeah, it's still kind of inconsistent. So then I made it to that next morning, early morning, and I woke up and I was like, I cannot sleep anymore. Like, and I was having to like get out of bed with each contraction. Like I couldn't lay down. I could get comfortable. And so they're happening like every 10 minutes now,
Okay.
but they're lasting 30 seconds and get more intense. So I woke up Brantley at this point and I was like, I kind of punched him and was like, I'm having contractions.
She
was
closer together.
pacing in our bedroom and he was like, oh,
You wonder what goes through your husband's head is he sees this and
Yeah, it's 4:00 into 1 and 2. So he was more like, okay. And then he would close his eyes and fall back to sleep. Because it was 10 minutes between each one. So he was like, you're doing great. And then he would fall back to sleep. And I was like, I'm having a they started getting closer together and I started pacing more, trying to keep them going in the right directions. And they then continued, got more intense, and were 5 minutes apart, only lasting about 30 seconds.
Okay.
And we were like, this is it. We're ready. By this point, it was 6 a.m., 7 a.m. I made Brantley call Carla, my doula, and I was like, you need to get over here. I'm in labor. And so Brantley calls her. She comes over. She's like, I think you're still in early labor. And I was like, I'm contracting. They are consistent.
Don't tell me that, Carla.
Yeah. She was like, I think you're still in early labor. But she was like, let's do this. I'm coming, And she gets there at I think it was 7. And I was still having contractions. I was sitting in my ball, bouncing. I was like, this is going to continue.
This is coming.
And then I completely stalled. Did not have another contraction for about 6 hours.
Really?
Yes. After I called my doula to come over, and she was like, and they stalled to the point, they were very intense, and then they just dropped off back to 20 minutes apart. Just
really?
Very lightly. And so she was like, okay, well, and then she was giving me all the ideas to keep it going, how to walk, how to do different stretches and everything. And then I was like, I'm starving. It was 8 o'clock by now.
Yeah.
And I was really feeling them. And she was like, well, how about y'all go lay down and rest? Because she was like, they started up when you were asleep. And a lot of research says if you can go back to sleep during early labor, to go back because it kind of helps your body stay in later. So she was like, y'all go back to sleep. I'm going to go to Chick-fil-A and get y'all some food.
Oh, that was sweet.
I know, right? And so she drove all the way into town. We live 30 minutes out of town.
Down.
And so she drove all the way into town. She took her time because she was trying to get me to sleep because I really hadn't slept that much. Brantley slept. It's great. During that nap. And then they kind of started again. And I was like, yes, let's go. But they were really light. And then I ate my Chick-fil-A. And I was like, we need to go walking.
We need to get,
I was going ready for this baby to come out of me. And so she gave me some more ideas and just tried those. Still wasn't really working. And we tried for a while. By this time, it's lunchtime.
Yeah.
And she was like, how about we get out of the house and do something? And I was like, okay. So I wanted barbecue.
You're supposed to be eating something spicy to get it on,
No, I wanted barbecue. So we went to the local barbecue joint that's 10 minutes away from our house. And as soon as I walk in, I'm not even joking, the whiff of barbecue. Y'all, my contractions just started.
You don't need none of this.
And I was like, this baby wants some barbecue. And so we sat down.
What a southern thing to say.
So we sat down and I ate my barbecue and I was still contracting and everything. And we get in the car. I'm still contracting. Everything's going good. And then we get home. And then they just start to taper off again. And I'm like, what the crap? So then Carla's like, how about you go take a nap? She was like, you need to sleep. Because, I was really I was working out by this point, trying to get my contractions
lunges and squats.
I walked up and down our stairs 5 billion times. Like, Brantley was like, I think you need to sit down. And I was like, no, I'm not. I'm going. But, so then she was like, you need to take a nap. So it's like 2 o'clock. So I rested for a little bit and my contractions started again. Couldn't lay down again. I was like hurting. So I started pacing the room, laying down in between them. And they were still far apart. And so Carla was like, I think you just need to get out of the house again. And so, because they stalled every time we were at the house.
That's crazy.
And so she was like, do anything that's going to make you happy. Like, just go for it. And like, do you want like a special food? Do you want something? And I was like, I want a smoothie.
You and your wants are like strong.
Because I didn't crave my whole pregnancy. But during labor, I was like, I know what I want. I was like, I want a smoothie and I want to go around and walk around TJ Maxx.
Amen. That's like the best time.
Yeah. So Brantley was like, I can do that. And so I was still having contractions. They were no far apart. We get loaded up. Carla at this point is like, I'm going to go home. And I was like, I don't blame you. I've kept you here for like 12 hours.
Like, she should have left a long time ago.
Yeah. And so Brantley and I, and Carla was like, how about you two like spend time together? They're like, this is kind of your last time to really spend time together without a baby. So she was like, go on a date. So she went home. Brantley, we drove, we got in the car, we were driving, and my contractions like started, and it was 2 minutes apart. It was like, it's like, we dwindled down from 5 to like 3.
Okay. Did you have your stuff with you?
No.
Brantley should have had your stuff.
Brantley wanted to pack this stuff, but I was like, you're going to jinx it. I was like, I'm not that close. So like, we'll come back.
That obviously wasn't true.
So we get in the car, we're driving, and I'm like, oh, but they're getting closer together. And I was like, don't time them. And Brantley's over there crying. I was like, don't time them. And so we get there. I'm walking into the smoothie place. And I'm like, oh. And then we get into the smoothie place. I'm like, oh. You know, I'm like, I'm contracting like all the time.
Yeah.
And so Brantley's like, okay, we have your smoothie. Let's go home. And I was like, I'm going to TJ Maxx, baby.
Like, we're about to have our baby. TJ Maxx.
The other funny thing is I'm freaking in like the baggiest t-shirt that I can fit in. And like my postpartum extra large sweatpants and a cardigan. So I kind of look like a druggie, to be honest.
Was pregnant.
And I'm wearing my slippers too. I kind of belonged in Walmart, not in TJ Maxx.
That's right.
That's right. And so Brantley was like, I don't think we should go to TJ Maxx. And I was like, I'm going to TJ Maxx and we're just going to walk around and keep these contractions going. So he drove me to TJ Maxx. And of course, I'm like contracting on the way there. And we get there and it's like, all right, let's go. He's like, I think we should just sit here. And I was like, no, we're going to we get in there.
We start mess with a pregnant woman.
So we start walking around. I'm enjoying my smoothie, but I'm like, I'm having to like stop in aisles to breathe through my contractions. And I was trying to,
oh my goodness.
I was trying to find aisles that people weren't on, so I didn't look like I was like struggling.
I don't know if I've heard this story. I'm just gonna let you know.
So I was like, if I saw somebody on that aisle, then I'd go to the next one, and then I would stop.
Were you actually looking at anything to buy, or were you just like, kind of like?
Yeah, I looked at clothes.
Okay, you were like looking.
Yeah. And so we were walking. We made it mostly through TJ Maxx at this point, and Brantley was like, "I've been timing your contractions." And he was like, "They're like 2 minutes apart, and like." At least a minute. And I was like, yeah, I can tell.
Yeah, I'm feeling that.
And it was like, I think we should have had our bags like in the truck. And I was like, it's okay. And so I was like, I'm still in early labor. Like, it's fine. So I'm obviously hurting though at this point.
Yeah, I'm always down TJ Maxx. TJ Maxx?
Yeah. Okay. 30 minutes away from my house. And and an hour away from the hospital.
Just want to clarify things for people out there.
So when I was at TJ Maxx, I was an hour and 15 minutes away from my hospital.
Yes.
So that's why my husband's kind of freaking out. So I was like,
He's probably like, I don't want to have this baby like
in my truck.
Yeah. Yeah. In your truck on the side of the road.
Yeah.
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 On nobody else's around.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of In Between Podcast. We appreciate you spending your time with us, laughing and growing. Don't forget to mark your calendars for next Monday at 4 p.m. because we will be back with more stories, insights, and inspiration. Life can get hectic, but we hope you'll give time to grow with us. And hey, while you're at it, show us some love by liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing. Your support means the world to us. Until next time, keep shining a light and embracing the journey. Thank you for being a part of In Between Podcast family. See you next Monday.